start the meeting, correct?
Yeah.
Like to start the finance meeting for tonight. Call the finance meeting to order. Great. All right, so just like Tracy sent over in the email, we have the financials to discuss. We just, as we talked at the last finance meeting that I would start doing the bank reconciliation. So I was able to get in and I have access to Generations Bank. So I had the bank statements, was able to reconcile. So then I forwarded are those good reports to forward, or do you not want me to touch anything after that? I forgot to ask you. The ones that I emailed over, or does it matter?
It's up to you. They're not necessarily the ones that I pull. I can show you the ones that I pull.
Okay.
But it doesn't really.
Okay. Was trying to save a step.
No, it's fine.
So oh yeah, because you did do the you just did the prior. So on the balance sheet, we have the prior year and the current year. The other topic that we discussed last time was clearing of the receivables and the payables. So I could see in the general ledger that there's it seems like some movement going on there to get those cleared out and figured out. But I think that so then you broke it down more for the hotel, JBJ and Max Studios. So there's a negative.
Actually, sorry, it's actually Prison City. This is Prison City and Nucor. With the switch over to the online, it wouldn't let me switch the AR account, so it's just gonna look weird this year.
Okay.
The next time I bill it, I'll make one line for these.
Okay.
I don't know why online doesn't like that, but
that's the hard part, going from desktop to online.
Yeah. So this doesn't actually have anything to do with the hotel. This is Prison City North and Nucor.
And that was because they were billed incorrectly?
Correct. So those two were building correctly. I did send out invoices. The Prison City check is probably sitting in the mail right now, so I have to go pick it up. Nucor seemed okay too, so everyone seemed okay. So yeah, so we should expect to see those payments any day now. We'll get those cleared out and out to the municipalities. And then we'll get Max Studios paid out for what they were overcharged.
And is the JBJ one late fees?
Yeah, that's just a late fee, yeah. And then associated with that, I did the due to government line is almost correct. It's very, very close. I did clear out the fees that were waived by the city and the school district. Both of those resolutions have passed. I've asked Rob to send me what was sent to the county so I can send it to Steve by email, just because I know things are weird right now and I'm not sure where their mail is going or who's getting it or whatever. So I'm gonna just forward it to Steve Lynch and just make sure that he saw it. Because I haven't seen it on any of the county agendas yet. So that's still in here, as well as the balance of what's going on with the pilots.
And sometimes I just like to point out where the retained earnings piece, that's in accounting, when you see that part get a little bit smaller, sometimes that can be a little concern. You know, that last year was a little tougher. I don't have any other historical knowledge of that though. So I mean, maybe the 500,000 total was more. And plus we're not at the end of this year knowing that a lot of
Might be what's in there, what the money's in there.
For the retained earnings. So that's an accumulation of all of either a net loss or profit for each year. So that's why you want to see it at least stable.
Right.
And this type of industry, I would think, or you just want to see it grow.
Yeah, IDAs can be a little weird because you can have a really great year with projects and it'll go up, it'll like shoot up real quick, and then you might not have a project the next year, so it's not unusual for it to kind of go up and down as long as that trend over time is not consistently down.
Mhm.
It's not so much of an issue.
Yeah,
But
I
we
would,
wanna see
I
it.
just wanted to explain that, like, when we're doing this comparison, that's one of the things you might want to look out for, but I think given the, just, and even the short-term history of knowing last year it was pretty dormant, and then this year knowing all what's ahead,
Right.
that it wouldn't be as concerning, that you'll see a lower number.
Tracy shows up,
Let's
the
hope.
law of attraction. Tracy,
And Gwen,
Thank you.
and Karen, of course.
All
with
of us.
the-
And you, Miss Lee.
It was funny, Chuck was up there, he's like, oh, more numbers today, I was like, oh, I train them.
That's what I do.
So then I'm set with this report. Did anyone have any questions? And I think Tracy had reported the CD
Mhm.
and then the additional savings account that,
Yeah, so you can see how all that money moved last month.
Mhm.
The new CD is set up, the new checking account is set up, and the savings from generations went significantly down because that's where all that money
We
came
moved
from.
on that money, yeah.
well, and some of it went to
And some
the
of it went
CD.
into
Right.
our checking account as well. The other main change you can see that happened was paying off that city loan
Mhm.
and interest.
That's good. I'm proud of us. Customers in good standing.
And then hopefully in the next month or so, this will be pretty cleaned up and we'll be in really good shape going into the next round of pilot billings in the fall.
And just again, I want to clarify, the due to government line, Tracy, is the money we owe to municipalities.
Yes, so
Okay.
those are the remaining pilot payments.
Got it, okay.
As well as the 2023 fees.
Mhm.
I haven't put the 2024 fees in there yet, but if the county
Forgives.
forgives them, they're all just gonna go away anyway.
Okay.
So they'll probably end up there. I just haven't put the 2024 fees there yet, but the 2023 are in there.
Okay.
So yeah, so you can see the work that's getting done
Mhm.
and the net income. Just fun fact about P&Ls and balance sheets. This is the overlapping number. So your net income on your balance sheet is your net income from your P&L.
Mhm.
So this is the number that connects them. So you'll notice on our P&L that we're currently at negative 34,000.
Do you want to go to that next report then to tie it in the 34 one? 30,
So
so
year to
that's at
date,
the bottom, so you see where the 34.
Yes.
So this is a more detailed version of, oh, so this is this
So-
just July?
so I've got this year versus last year for July and then, or January through July, and then I have budget versus actual for July and year to date.
Mhm.
Okay,
This is
let's,
a new report.
oh, okay,
We didn't do this one last week.
which is good though, because that would tie into like at least the past month, and then we'll see the overall picture.
Yeah, so I did update the budget to reflect the amendment that we did in June.
Yeah.
So this budget that you see here is reflective of that amendment. You can see year to date, we've had an application fee that came from Builder's Choice, I believe. And that's the only thing we have on admin fees right now, but hopefully, once they get through site plan, they'll come back. And we'll get, I think that one was about $9,000 for an admin fee. Office supplies, this was our QuickBooks for July. The first 3 months, we got a good deal on, it was like a 4th of July special or something weird.
The travel and meetings is for the upcoming meeting, right?
The one that we just went to,
Oh, you guys just went to that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
The one in Binghamton?
yes,
Yeah.
the one in Binghamton, in July, Karen and I went, and it was good.
It was very good.
Yeah.
Are you guys reporting that on that in the next meeting?
I think, Karen, if you wanna, yeah.
I think that would be great, and I think that what I'm really interested in is, in addition to ensuring that we understand just our core business, that I think if there's things trending that we need to be paying attention to, that would also, Karen, I think would be helpful, right? So they probably talked about what we would typically talk about, but if they're saying, yeah, we want to pay attention to this, or IDAs, I think also, I always want to make sure that we're just kind of ahead of the trend. So that when it comes our way, we're not stunned by it, which is why like the conversations about housing are really interesting, so I trust you, because I know you,
Okay, I took notes.
I know you did.
They gave me no paper, but I used the agenda. There you go.
And somebody else's agenda, she
Yes,
looks.
right. That's right, the scribe.
That's good.
There
We
you go.
appreciate
Did they
it.
give you
The
food?
scribe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Lunch
that's
and lots of coffee and water.
And I brought two oatmeal raisin cookies home for my husband when they had the noon break. Isn't that awful? I
No.
have to give him a sweetie.
Listen,
Yeah, if it works, it works.
I've been married for 41 years by any means necessary.
That's exactly it.
I have 2 chocolate chip cookies in my briefcase right now. from
There
the
you
gas.
go.
So. Do.
Oh,
Oh.
uh,
Yeah, so I mean, there's not much,
Mhm.
so we did increase the budget for this contract services line in particular.
Mhm,
So we'll be close to on track with that by the end of the year.
mhm. Is that for MRV only, Trace, or what?
It also included the first quarter for CETA
Yes, okay.
and April, I guess,
Mhm.
so. This interest number hopefully, well, so what we'll see is that this interest number will be lower
Mhm,
until the CD
Matures.
matures.
mhm. Right.
Cause we no longer have a lot of money in the savings account, but we'll get a bigger hit when
Right.
the CD matures. So it's gonna look like we're falling behind here, but we're not.
But things take time.
But yeah, but keeping track of kind of that. Obviously, how much we're spending versus how much we're bringing in, we have some good prospects. Gwen, I just sent you a reminder for the contracts for the residential properties today, this
Mhm,
afternoon, if you
mhm.
don't mind going in and just clicking through those.
Okay,
There's like a bunch of them that are like initials and stuff.
got it. So is it a DocuSign kind of thing you
Yes.
sent to me? Okay.
Yeah.
And when do they do back to you?
It's just, Steven can't start until he has them.
Got it, okay.
So, I let him know that it would be in the upcoming weeks, so if you don't mind just clicking through that,
I don't
it's probably easier than actually
So they'll be-
signing it.
Yeah,
Appraisals.
To start putting those parcels on the market,
They actually put them on the market.
yes,
that won't cost anything though until he sells it, right?
correct.
Trace, if I looked at that sometime tomorrow morning, would that be
Yep,
okay?
yep. And that's commission based, so it won't be anything upfront, it'll be, and then he did write in there that the buyer would pay for any appraisals or provide any appraisals or surveys or whatnot, so. The only cost to Ada will be the commissions, so that'll be a nice little boost potentially in the. In the market too, because the market is hot for residential properties and.
I know,
So we'll
especially
see.
when they're together. I wonder if there's gonna be somebody who puts them together and he's gonna sell them separately though.
He's
Put
gonna
that-
list them separately and see
Or
what
list
comes
them.
back, yeah.
And who is, I missed a meeting, if this is a real estate agent?
Yes.
Who are we doing business with?
Stephen Bear,
Bye.
he's the same broker that the city is using
Got it.
for their properties, he's with the real estate agency.
His last name Buyer.
Buyer.
But I just think it's funny that he goes real estate.
Yeah, I know that, the gentleman that lives the last house on Case Avenue had expressed interest to Mike Miller in the past.
Okay,
His last name is Swarthout.
his last name is, I'm sorry, what?
Swarthout, W. A. R. T. It's an O. U. T. So I mean, I don't know if that would be, you know, a courtesy, like kind
Yeah.
of follow up rather than to just see signs.
I was just thinking about it too, like when it's just land, I wonder how much commission, is it still like a 3 or 6% or whatever?
Yeah, it's still the standard amount for all residential. And then,
City council over Street Wilson, when they're,
Oh.
they might have a little meeting going on, they might.
yeah, and then the profit and loss, year over year comparison. So it's the same exact numbers for January through July as the
Mhm.
total year to date.
Mhm.
On the other one, it's just comparing to last year at this
Mhm.
time. I think that
Well,
generally things are where we would expect them to be.
the fines and penalties, would that go away?
Yeah, so this is the
When?
2024 county portion.
Okay, so that's what you're just waiting for that.
Yeah.
And that would be something they might consider waiving.
Yeah, correct. Between that and the 2023 portion, the whole amount.
Mhm.
I can actually tell you what the whole amount is together. I was just looking at it. So the county portion totals $12,660.10 between 2023 and 2024.
Mhm.
So this is just the 2024.
Got it.
The 2023 is in that due to government line,
And we're looking for the county to waive,
both,
okay.
Yep.
The 2023 and the.
correct.
Okay.
I don't expect to pay any more dues until the fall. And then. This was for the 2023 audit. And then. This is higher, but because your situation has changed with your administrative services. This is lower, but I think that's because it was during last 2023 that you canceled that contract with TGW to
Right.
do additional work. So this is really just the website stuff that we just did,
Mhm.
getting it migrated over and the 5-year hosting and the security.
And just remind me again, Tracy, who will be doing the updates to the website?
We're working on the updates now.
You and the,
Me, MRV Group is
okay,
doing updates to the
okay,
website
great,
now.
thank you.
Grace figured out how to do it, thank
Mhm.
God,
Yeah.
because my, oof. I looked at it and was like, this is not intuitive,
Right.
Grace figured it out. So she's working on getting all the meeting materials updated right now, and when that's updated, we'll move on to the policies.
Mhm.
She had previously done an audit, like a website audit,
Right.
using the form that the ABO uses when they go through websites. And so we'll also start to update those things that we noticed were missing. But we're taking care of all of that. If we run into anything that is above our heads,
Right.
we'll talk to Dan
Okay,
and see if he can help us. So,
great.
anything else on the P&L?
Mhm.
So the savings reconciliation report is very simple. It's just, there's not a lot of transactions that go in and out of savings, so this is just the one transaction where we transferred a bunch of money out of the savings account. The checking account is a little more active, so you see more things have cleared here. You see that transfer that came into this account, but then the big number that went out to Shamong.
Mhm.
Oops.
Oh.
And then, the bills that we've paid. What we're still working on is clearing out some of these uncleared transactions.
Mhm.
These two GoDaddy, my feeling is that this was supposed to go in the CETA books
Mhm.
and got put here on accident. So I'll work on clearing that out. I'm gonna contact the town of Aurelius and just see if Ada owes anything. They seem to have not cashed the $1.59 check.
Didn't it cost us $60 to rate the check?
Probably. So I'm just gonna call them and say,
Yeah.
does Ada owe you anything? And if they
Right.
say no, we're just gonna clear this
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
And then, TGW I'll also contact and just make sure, this was from last year,
Mhm.
about a year ago. I don't know why they wouldn't have cashed this check, so.
Well, good point you made that it might have been a duplicate entry.
I looked
maybe?
at that and it didn't seem like it was.
Oh, okay.
There
I
has
just couldn't
been-
go that far back into
Yeah.
the, I could see in the bank account. I tried to see if it had cleared. I didn't see any, it
Yeah.
didn't go, but I just didn't know if it didn't go far back enough.
Yeah, I have run into a few instances where checks were written but not sent.
Mhm,
Okay.
So, but we haven't been getting statements from them either.
mhm.
So I'm just gonna reach out to them and make sure that we're all set with them as well. And that should clear everything out. This check just went out. I mean, they're not working quick on anything right now,
That's
so.
money we owe to CETA because of our
Yes.
contractual relationship.
Yes,
Yeah.
so this cleared us out with CETA. There might be like one more. No, I think this should clear us out with CETA. I don't think there's anything else that we should see from them.
Cause that was only up through April 30th, right?
We got two invoices, one for the first quarter and one for April. And then
Do you think
their
there'd be
services
another one?
end. No,
Oh,
No.
okay.
the only thing that might come through is if there was like an expense in that time they hadn't invoiced us for yet. Like something through GoDaddy or another expense, but it would be actually reimbursing a payment that for something that we use, you know.
I know, and they're busy collecting any outstanding revenue because they have to do that in order to dissolve the non-profits.
Yep. So, but we should be clear with them at this point. And we should be able to clear these up. We just need to do it in a way that will not throw off the auditors when they come in.
Right.
Because these are for past years. So
Yeah,
they'll-
we were talking, I mean, if we keep it until, I mean, we can just be transparent with the auditors and
Yeah.
say, we know that this is here, we just don't want to touch anything because it'll affect retained earnings.
Right.
Yeah, so, yeah, and I think I can clear it up and we
Yeah.
can just like tell them, this is what we did to clear this up. Yeah, if you wanna move it around, fine, do what you wanna do.
Just don't write us up.
But be being transparent, this is what we did to clean up these
Mhm.
invoices. So that they weren't sitting on our reconciliation. So we're just, I cleared up a lot of stuff already, things that were duplicate payments, things that were errors, but these were the ones that were not quite need an extra step.
Mhm.
And I have no idea what this is. So I'll have to look into this deposit, the $60 deposit. Who knows? But yeah, so it's looking better.
Yeah,
And we cleaned up some things that had been done after the year-end closing and so I think we're in much better shape and this is getting closer and closer.
mhm.
That's all I have on the financials.
Mhm. Well, thank you for your hard work, Tess and Tracy, Karen. Anything you did while I was doing what I needed to do. But this makes me feel better. And I think it's really in alignment with what we said our correction strategy would be, so,
Yeah, I'm most excited for the audit.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we will be too, yeah.
Oh,
As I always say, sometimes things have to break down to break through. This is the breakthrough, so.
is there anything else anybody wanted to talk about today?
You can tell me if these are things we should talk about, because I think they do affect that. So I know after our combined meeting of all the economic development entities, one of the things we said we wanted to like really verify was to stabilize where the point of contact would be. And I don't know if the staff, I just said the answers, well, we should not be answering it because they should. Have you all gathered how we're gonna resolve that?
So Michael, Steve and Jenny met yesterday and I
Mhm.
talked to Jenny tomorrow.
Good.
I think Michael's name is gonna go up there. Jenny's name is gonna go up there.
Mhm.
I think Jenny can refer to us
Right.
when needed.
Yeah,
So I think it's gonna be those two. What we
Mhm.
haven't necessarily resolved is what happens with the rest of the county.
yeah,
And I think yesterday, I had talked to Jenny beforehand, before the meeting and let her know about our capacity situation.
right,
And I think that was one of the big things. is
Yeah.
To help Steve understand what is the capacity of Ada, what is the capacity of CCIDA, what is the capacity of Jenny,
Mhm.
and thus what gap are they trying to fill?
Good, that's what's my biggest concern.
And there's a follow-up meeting on Monday.
Good. I just
So,
wanna make sure that there's movement.
yes,
around that,
there
so
are conversations happening.
That's really good, because I think that we want to be managing your time and your capacity appropriately. And I think this is the step that has to happen in the
Mhm.
meantime, so we can kind of see what that's gonna need to be.
Right.
That would be great.
So progress being made. conversations happening.
Yeah.
Ultimately, we'll see what the county wants to do.
Yeah.
And, we'll get there.
So I have that our next finance committee meeting is September 4th at 5 here.
Correct.
And
You can tell them by email.
Trace, you sent me, do I need to sign this today and give it back to you?
Yes, please.
And the Paris report, I know they were looking for some final stuff. Sorry if you already talked about that, but
Oh.
is that done?
No, I need this signed first because I don't
Okay.
have an account right now.
Got it.
And I can't access any of the prior accounts.
Yeah.
So what this form does is allow, once I submit it, they'll set up an account for me. And then I can go in and make those changes.
Got it.
I went in to make the changes and was like, oh, none of these passwords work. Okay,
They
Cool.
got locked out.
well. There were multiple accounts listed on the password sheet that I got. And none of them worked. So
Which I hate when
I am going to, so we're gonna set this one up. And go from there.
Let's get a start. So the Paris report is due at the end of with the audit, right?
Yeah, so so this in particular, what we need to do now is there are some adjustments that need to be made to last year's audit, or not last year's audit, last year's Paris reporting. There was there's like a typo, there's something they wanted entered a little bit differently. Nothing huge, a couple minor things, and then. But yes, so we'll have a budget report due in October. And then the actual Paris reporting, the annual will be due at the end of March.
I'd like to add that as one of our board education pieces, Tracy, when you think the timing is right. I think we hear about it, but there's new people in our room and we're not all in relationship with it, right? The way that the staff would be. So I think that that would be a really good board education piece too.
Sure.
You can put them to sleep that one.
It doesn't have to be like
No.
walking us through, but you know, if there's, it's like a FAQ or 5 things you need to know about the Paris report. And the story that it tells about the condition of the IDA.
Yeah, I can generally go through the sections of the report
Yeah.
and say this is what each section is about
Mhm.
and why it's there.
Yes,
And what kind of information they're looking for.
yeah, and I'm just offering that because I think Eileen, right, because getting Elaine and Eileen confused, was really clear that we have to really be responsible for knowing what we need to know.
Mhm.
I won't comment on that. So just us having even baseline understanding that we're required to submit a Paris report, this is the story that it's telling about. The IDA, that's the kind of information that we don't need to be the technicians on it, but we are obligated to know that we are accountable for doing that
Sure.
and understanding that. And I think the way that we've been onboarding everybody is sort of, that's been my intent. In the front end, to make sure that we really understand what we are, and whenever you think we need a refresher, we shall do it again. Here's a friendly reminder.
Yeah, coming out of the session last. The Binghamton session, there was a couple items that I kind of had noted down as potential board development.
Mhm.
Just reviewing fiduciary duty.
Right, right.
Is a big
Yeah.
one.
What does that mean?
And this another one too, that I can't remember now, I'll have to look back at my notes, but yeah. So I think there's a couple good things that we took from that we can kind of bring forward to.
Great, 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 great. All right. The only other thing, Tracy, is I'm gonna give you another phone number to put on forms.
Oh, okay,
And I'll give you my landline
okay,
and my business stuff, so I'll just send them to you in an
Okay.
email.
sounds good,
I don't mind this one being on.
yeah, they won't call you.
Yeah. Girl, I hope not. I'm gonna say like, oh, dumb look at which one of 3 women, Tracy. Great, so we are gonna adjourn ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you just need a motion in a second.
I have a motion to end the meeting.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor, wait, any discussion? Do I have to say? that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Then so moved.
Adjourned.
Adjourned.
There you go, lady. I set myself a reminder, Tracy, I'll take care of those other forms for you. So one I can DocuSign, then this other one I just need to bring